Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason. And we are the Yahoo and the Torah channel, and we are excited to be here with y'all. It is a Shabbat, one of the best days, if not the best day of the week, and our homes are open to you guys. Our love is open to you guys. We thank you guys very, very much for being with us today, and let us get going with where we begin. Mr. Colt, who do we have in the chat room?
Let's see. We have the Grand. We have Brother Glenn. We have Cindy LJ, Joanna, Tess, Carla.
Wait, what about Ollie? Where's Ollie?
Ollie's with Cindy.
Ollie's in there? Hi, Ollie. Hi, guys. How you doing? Drag's in there. Zachariah Z.
Zachariah Z, Rhiannon, and all
Brother
their babies.
Glenn. All right. Well, much love to everybody out there. Thank you guys. Judith, much love. Yeah, just huge loves. Thank you guys very, very much for being here with us on this day. And we are going to do what we always do on this. And I guess let's begin with a quick word of prayer. Precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for another day that we can be a group, that we can hang out with people of our like mind. And Father, we thank you for your Torah. We thank you for your Son. We thank you for the way forward. Father, we ask that the eyes are open and the ears are able to hear the message that you have for us today. Father, help us to be able to receive whatever you will bring down to us. I ask that the Ruach HaKodesh will embolden us all and be with us and walk with us. And Father, we thank you for your Son. We thank you for his sacrifice. We thank you for his kingmanship, that he is going to be our king. And Father, I cannot wait, and we cannot wait for our king to arrive. Whenever that is ready, Father, we are ready to receive him. We thank you for everything. We ask this all in the name of Yahushua. Amen. Okay, so let us begin right here, and I guess we'll read. Let's begin with our Shema, and this is the Shema. And for those who do not know what the Shema is what, Jaden?
It is the kind of like a creed for Yahuwah's people.
Yeah, it is it's kind of like, yeah, it's almost like an understanding. This is where a lot of this can begin, and a lot of people don't realize that you guys are Yisrael. You guys are Israel. There is no religions in this world that mean anything when it comes to scriptures. Scriptures are the religion killer, and when you have any kind of religion at all, you always have creeds and you have ways that they go forward that are abnormal to what scriptures are. And so you don't want to hook your flag to a religion. You want to hook your flag to a family that we are going to be, and the family is all Yisrael. And the way that we become this family is by keeping the laws, statutes, and the commandments of our Creator, and we have the faith of Messiah Yahushua. So it's a two-way road that we have to go. It's not a set and forget. It's not a once saved, always saved. It is a process. It is a lifestyle. It is a way forward. Now here's the Shema, and this is very important, and we like to start with this because it is important. Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu. Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah Eloheka with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. Okay. Gentlemen, what do you guys make of this?
I make of that it wants us to surround ourselves in the Torah. It wants us to make it all around us. So everywhere we look, everywhere we are doing something, we see the Torah.
Yeah, and it's about a Torah lifestyle, right? We are the people that are supposed to be peculiar. The people of our Creator are called peculiar. We're called peculiar for a certain reason, because we don't look like the world. We're not supposed to smell like the world or taste like the world or anything of it. We're supposed to be separated from this world. And that means living our life in a completely different way. It means doing things in a completely different way. It means being set apart. And how we get set apart is by these laws, statutes, and commandments, which we are just about to read. These are the laws, statutes, and commandments that people have tossed in the ditch. They put in the trash can. They don't believe applies to them at all. And they do absolutely apply to us every day, every moment. And they will enhance us. And they will also they will curse us if we do not keep them and we do not follow our Creator. So the absolute best path, and the path of righteousness and the holiness and the cleanliness, is with our Creator. Everything else is demonic, it's satanic, and it's anything that is contrary is opposite of it, and that's not the way we want to go. And the first thing before, a lot of you guys, we get a lot of views on this particular video during the week and following this. In our little tiny ecclesia, our family is right here. Everybody here is the family that we love and we keep, and everybody else we love and we keep as well. But for the immediate family, I wanted to kind of throw this over to you guys. What you're looking at is you are looking at something I guess I'm proud of, and I guess pride comes before a fall, but this is something that you can be proud in. And what you're looking at over here is you're looking at the fruits of several people's labor. And one of the people is Chris from the Bobby Zines YouTube channel, has had a hand in this. And then if you guys take a look right here, this is our list right here. And everything right here on this list has been not fully proofread, but this is we're heading towards the 66 books. And this is what you're looking at right here, is you're looking at completely rewritten from the top to the bottom. Everything you see here there's no copies to this. We copied every dot, every tittle, every last thing, and we're proofreading it, and we're putting it together, and we're up about 10 books from where we were last week, and we have completely turned our house upside down because we stopped doing a lot of our farming, the stuff that we were doing outside, and we're taking a break from this, for a little temporary break, so that we are able to bring this book to life. And so everyone in our house has now a task, and a good 3/4 of the day for a lot of people in this house is going through scriptures. And Jade, how do you feel? You've been through all the prophets last week. What are your thoughts after literally not rewriting the Bible, but copying it and scribing it over? What are your thoughts?
It can be done. It shouldn't take too long.
Well, you've been reading the Bible unlike anyone else that's been reading the Bible as of late, because not only do you take a sentence, you paste a sentence in there, then you read the sentence again, then you look through it, then you put all the punctuation and everything back in. What do you think of the prophets in Israel? You've been through 12 prophets. Has Israel repented yet?
No, they never repent.
Never repented?
They end up getting exiled.
They exile all the way, right? And so you've made it through, what books have you made it through already? Jonah, Micah?
I think all the prophets except Hosea.
What did you just type yesterday? What did you do?
Yesterday I did Joel, Obadiah, Amos. There's no one I did. It was a quick one.
Yeah, we have Haggai and Jonah. Did you get Jonah in there?
Jonah I did. I did Haggai, Malachi. This is over the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and so you're almost done with the prophets on that. And so as you guys see it, as we get to this next week, you should see double this list right here, Yah willing, obviously. But as we get through this, we're trying to do a 3-month special that if this 3 months is over, this will be 100% ready to release to anybody and everybody. And it's going to be amazing. And as we bring this to life, we bring it to our website. And on the website, you can, it's really super cool having the restored name Hebrew scriptures on the website. And you are able to see it. It has the name of Yah back in there. And this is where we're going, and it will be completely free. There will never, ever be a charge to any of this stuff. And when we are done with this, we will release it in a lot of different formats. And that's the excitement for today. And I guess let us begin with what we do every single week, is we are going to go through the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Mr. Cole, do you got anything going on in
No.
the chat room? Okay. All right, so everyone, let us begin. The very first law, and if anyone in the chat room wants to throw a hand up or shoot us a question, or if any of these laws don't make sense to you, let us know. We want these to make sense to everybody because they are very simple. They are things that we can all do in our life, and those who don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commands, the first thing you would always want to ask them is which law do we start with? Do we just ixnay? Do we cancel out being fruitful? Should we not be fruitful? Is that the law we want to get rid of, or should we stop multiplying and so our seed dies off in this world and we die off, right? Every commandment in here is something that is profitable to our lives and profitable to our souls. And so let's begin.
And Chris is here, by the way.
Oh, hey, Chris, from the Bobby Zines YouTube channel. Thank you, brother. I don't know if you caught the little last bit.
He did.
Okay.
He said hi during that.
All right, good. I hope you caught that. And let us begin, guys. Very first commandment, which is a very good commandment that we end up in Genesis, is be fruitful.
Commandment number 2, multiply. Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have you made it with a fish? Have fowl and every living creature.
Okay, spit it out there, son. The herb bearing in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Over 53 times, my friends, is what we're told to guard these commandments. This is not a joke. He didn't put this in over 53 times just so that we can make light of it, toss it on the cross, put it in the ditch, and live how we want to live and think that we're going to wait for the rapture that's going to come get us disobedient children.
Every
Right?
male shall be circumcised 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and the Ebrium.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven image.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with the beast.
No sacrifices to other gods.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow the multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Do not make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make her use this anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make her use this perfume on a normal person.
Okay, do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time is separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for a wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Yom Recount.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Teruah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme in the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah of being a Nazir.
Wear zizi on the 4 corners of your garments.
The laws of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow the laws of Yahuwah's inheritance.
Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithes of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet tested Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is to get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
Law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, and shall take his wife, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot.
Okay, all right. So, let's see. What is going on? Do you have something going on in the chat room, Miss Nicole?
No, Cindy just asked me, she's like, so much is confusing and false, so I want to ask you, how do we know that we have a Jubilee coming up this year? We don't.
Yeah, you'd have
We
to.
don't know that, and there's so much misleading information and so much information that people are so, like, convoluted and nothing
Yeah,
is...
there's absolutely no way to absolutely know if you are in a Jubilee year or not. There's a lot of problems because we are unable to get the exact day of creation. And Nicole has been spending, I don't know, she spent a tremendous amount of time on it to the point where I don't know if she's still going at it. But she went through Jubilees and she went through Jasher, and she's basically putting dates and times and trying to get a date of creation, trying to get us in cycles of 7s and 50s. But we are unable to figure out exactly. And so, you know, that's a lot of the reason we're not doing a lot of the calendar stuff like we used to do anymore. There's literally like 4 calendars people use, and there's actually more than that. But the 4 calendars that people are on, it could be any one of the 4. And, you know, I think we're on one certain one, but as far as saying, okay, well, we're for sure on this calendar, I'm not going to do it anymore because I honestly don't know. And so we are at some point maybe going to get the 4 calendars together so everybody has an idea, but every single calendar, there's something different with it, and everybody believes something completely different, and there is not a consensus or anything at all. I mean, you will find these people that are like, I'm dead set on this calendar and this is why, and you know, everybody else is completely wrong. I don't know so much as we will ever know this until we have our Messiah that comes and lays this all out. You know, we're 6,000 years. We're towards the end of this stuff. You know, we've been in this for 2,000 years since the Messiah's gone, thousands of years prior to this. We're in the age of deception, and so you know everything we know is completely, you know, messed up. So that's it as far as that goes. Anything else?
Carla says, for those of us new to celebrating Yah's feast days, can you share with us how to celebrate to honor Yah?
Depends on what day. I mean, what day are we talking about?
I would say start with
Passover.
Passover.
So what do we do for Passover?
Comes up soon, yeah.
So Passover's coming up, and so how do we run Passover?
Well, we usually find a piece of lamb because, you know, you don't have a lamb, you can't sacrifice lamb.
Yeah, and that's the thing is right out of the gate, because we can't like go get a lamb and kill it ourselves. We end up with a lamb with broken bones, and that's part of the commandment is you're not supposed to break the bones on this thing. So before we even begin attempting to do this, we're already breaking the ceremonial commands on this, but we're trying to do that. And so let's continue on. What do we do for Passover?
So we get our lamb,
Yep.
and I roast it with fire.
Yep, we take it outside. We roast it outside with fire, with herbs, and
And we do it between the evenings. We actually do it on, it'll be April 4th, I believe, on the evening. It's the 13th evening to the 14th day, because it says between evening and evening, which is twilight. So if you actually do it on the 14th night, when you're going to the 15th, you're actually combining the 2 feasts together. So we do it the night before, the beginning of day 14 versus the ending of day 14.
yeah, and how it begins is we all dress up, not really dress up, but I mean we have our little staff, we have our belt, sandals, and we do it just like it says. We eat it in haste, and we do it just like that. And then as far as the rest of the day, any of these days, we don't do any kind of like what we do servile work. We spend it with our family. We spend it here. Most of this, unless it's like a hag, like a feast day, like Passover's kind of a, it's an in remembrance thing. And so we basically take the entire day off, and we still have to do our cows and chickens and stuff, but it is not a work day. We don't go picking rocks or anything out of the field.
Passover is not a high Shabbat, but unleavened bread is.
Right. So, yeah, and so, but we don't do, it's kind of a time off that we do. Okay, Yeshua was the Passover lamb. I mean, and Richard B says, but I mean, we still have commandments that, Messiah became not only our Passover lamb, but he became our Melchizedek priest, our perfect priest and our perfect sacrifice. But we still have commandments that we need to observe this and to do this, and so that's what we do. All
And
right.
with the roasted lamb, we also do unleavened bread as well.
Right.
And bitter herbs.
And for that, you want to get your unleavened bread out before unleavened bread day hits.
Right,
Yes.
right, and we take
we take all leaven out of the house, baking soda, baking powder, yeast. I also take out my sourdough starter.
Yeah, we
Get
have,
rid of it.
We have an awesome sourdough starter that she was almost in tears about yesterday because we got to get rid of it from last year. She just started that thing up and it lives for us and helps us with our bread and everything. So that's what we kind of do there. And as we get closer to it, I think we'll discuss a little bit more. All right, gentlemen, are you guys ready for this?
Yep.
All right, so let us begin. And if anyone else has anything in there in the chat room, this is the love of the chat room, is that we can sit here and chit chat with you guys, and we're happy to chit chat with you guys. You guys are a family with us, and so truly, you guys are about the only family we have outside of the people I see right here. And so here we are. And let us begin. We are in Bereshith 29. And anyone remember anything about what's happened last time?
Yitzchak blessed Jacob, told him not to take a wife from the land of the Canaanites, told him to go to his mother's brother, go marry inside the family. Esau went and took another wife from Ishmael, his uncle. He went and Jacob went and saw angels coming down out of heaven. He made a rock and made it kind of like an altar thing where some poured oil on it as remembrance.
Right. Oh, and I want to toss on one more thing with Cindy LJ on that. I saw earlier that you said right after Shabbat you were going to make some unleavened bread.
They're not doing the same Shabbat.
Oh, you're not doing the same Shabbat? Okay. All right. So I just want to inform everyone, the Shabbat is where we don't do any cooking or cleaning or anything of that sort. So if whatever day I guess you're celebrating Shabbat, for us this is the seventh day. We prepare everything on Fridays, all the stuff we have today. So there's no cooking, cleaning, or any of that. We rise up and it's basically muffins or stuff that we don't have to do. So just wanted to throw that out there as well.
The Grand says the Hebrews left Mitzrayim on unleavened bread. Yes, on a high Shabbat. Yes,
Yes.
that is correct.
They didn't have time to wait for the bread to rise.
Yeah.
So the day of Passover, they actually went and took all the gold and silver from the Mitzrayim people to get
Yeah.
ready, and then they left the next day
Right.
on unleavened bread.
Right. Hasatan was bound during that time, and they were able to basically take him to school. Okay, here we go, guys. Verse 1. And so for anyone who doesn't know, at the bottom, this is the ex-Hallelu Scriptures. It's now Yahuwah Scriptures. The top part is called the Targums, which is a very interesting translation of this, and we're still trying to get to is this good or is this bad? Okay, all right, so let's roll here and let's begin. And Jacob moved on and came to the land of the people of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field, and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a large stone was on the well's mouth. Okay, so this is where we got in the Targums last week, where we had never ever heard anything about this. And you guys remember the 5 things that it said that?
Yeah, all these special things.
Yeah, do you guys remember
miracles,
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember it? What were they? One was rolling the stone away.
The stone was rolled away.
With one arm.
The rocks became one.
Right,
The days were shortened.
right.
The path that he went on was shortened before.
Oh, right.
So he's lifting his feet, and he was able to go there. And let's see, the 5th one.
Was it the messengers saw in heaven?
No, it was something else.
I'm not sure, but what we're discussing for anyone that doesn't
It
understand.
was the well overflowed. For 20
Oh,
years.
right, the well overflowed 21 years, or 20 years.
20.
Right, so what we're discussing is last week in the Targums, it gave us things that we had never heard of. We didn't know that the rock of this well that we're about to read is super, super heavy. And we didn't realize that it took a whole herd of people to move the rock. And for some reason, Jacob was able to move this with one arm. Okay, so let's continue on. 3? Is that where we're at, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. And all the flocks would be gathered there. Then they would roll the stone from the well's mouth and water the sheep and put the stone back in its place on the well's mouth. So Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" And they said, "We are from Haran." And he said to them, "Do you know Laban, son of Nahor?" And they said, "We know him." So he said to them, "Is he well?" And they said, "Well, and see, his daughter Rachel is coming with her sheep, with the sheep." And he said, "See, it is still high day, not the time for livestock to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go feed them." But they said, We are not allowed until all the flocks are gathered together and they have rolled the stone from the well's mouth. Then we shall water the sheep. All right, so this is something we did not know except for the Targums, is that this was the situation, is that the rock was too big that you couldn't move it by yourself. You had to wait for all the guys to come. That's why they were waiting for everyone to do there. Okay.
That was how you read 9.
Okay. Back to 9 on the bottom. While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. Okay. Now, you guys remember in the Targums, did we read, was this previous or was this in the future where we found out why she was the shepherdess?
We found
It'll
it in
be
this
in
chapter.
this chapter.
Oh, it's in this chapter?
Yep.
Okay, so I won't break that one. Okay. And Jacob, we're up at the top, guys. And Jacob lifted up his feet lightly to proceed. And he came to the land of the children of the cast. And he looked and saw, and behold, there was a well in a field. And behold, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying near it. Because from that well they watered the flocks. And a great stone was laid upon the mouth of the well. And they gathered the flocks there, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and set the stone on the mouth of the well in its place. And Jacob said to them, My brethren, whence are you? And they said, From Charan are we. And he said to them, Know you Laban bar Nachor? And they said, We know. And he said, Hath he peace? And they said, Peace. And behold, Rahel, this is Rahel, it doesn't sound right though, Rachel, his daughter cometh in with the sheep. And he said, Behold, the time of the day is great. It is not time to gather home the cattle. Water the sheep, and let them go again to pasture. And then the other version says it is not time to gather. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together, and we roll the stone from the mouth of the well and water the sheep. While they were speaking with him, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess at that time, because there had been a plague from Yahuwah among the sheep of Laban, and but few of them were left. And he had dismissed his shepherds, and had put the remaining flock before Rachel, his daughter. Okay, so that gives us an answer that, Laban was cursed prior to this, or Laban was having
He was already a bad dude from the
animal issues. Yeah, I wouldn't say having animal issues makes you a bad dude, but there's
No, I mean, stuff he did earlier was bad.
Right. Okay, so let's continue on. And so we are back down here in 10. Back at the bottom. And it came to be when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. Okay, do you think he just walked over there and kissed her? I mean, how would that? I mean, that should be kind of like odd, right?
I feel like how they do here in Latin America. They get like respectful, like you hug and like you kiss on the cheek.
Oh, you think it's like that? It's
Yeah,
not-
I don't think it's hugging.
Yeah, we didn't know about that until we came down to see, we're from North America, and like hugging, shaking hands is one thing, but it's like a lot of people aren't real huggy, and they don't really do that. Down here,
Everyone hugs you.
Yeah, you get a hug, and sometimes they kiss you and stuff like that, and that was a little odd for us, and it's definitely we're learning this, but it's interesting to see the differences in cultures, and how one culture is completely good with and I think Russians are like that too. I think Russians always give each other kisses. I think I remember that. I don't know. Let's continue on. You're not here for history. You're here for scriptures. All right. And 12. And when Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's relative, and that he was Ribka's son, she ran and told her father. And it came to be when Laban heard the report about Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him and kissed him, and brought him to his house. Then he told Laban all these matters. What do you got there, Mr. Cole?
Rhiannon says I don't do hugs and kisses. I didn't either until we came here.
Yeah, even then, Miss Nicole looks a little odd when somebody grabs a hold of her and wants to hug her.
I have a bubble. And Glenn says, living in the Middle East, you have to get used to being kissed by strangers. And Carla says, in Spain and Puerto Rico, we are huggy, kissy type people.
Yeah.
Scriptures make more sense than knowing history.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
what Glenn says.
That is true. Okay. Then he told Laban all these matters. And Laban said to him, did I catch that last one? Embraced him and kissed him.
Yeah, you did
Did I
that.
do 13?
You got 14 now.
Okay. And Laban said to him, you are indeed my bone and my flesh. And he stayed with him for a month. Okay.
Sorry.
Back to the Targums at the top. And it was when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went nigh and rolled the stone with one of his arms from the mouth of the well, and the well uprose, and waters ascended to the top of it. And he watered the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, and it uprose for 20 years. And it was at that point that Rachel goes, that's my man right there. You see that dude grab that rock and lift that off there? 10 men couldn't do that. That's my man. I mean, that's I don't know. That's just kind of what I'm thinking here, right? No guy could do. Can you imagine that if you were trying to impress your girl or a girl and you're able to like lift this off and it takes like a whole grip of people and the girl's like, yeah, all right, here we go. Okay.
Y'all got an unfair advantage on everyone.
He did. He had a family line advantage, definitely. Okay. Where are we at, guys? 15?
15.
Okay.
You were up top.
Was I up top?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
After the 20 years.
That's why you're not my navigator, Kate. Okay.
And Jacob.
And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told unto Rachel that he was come to be with her father to take one of his daughters. And Rachel answered him, thou canst not dwell with him, for he is a man of cunning. And Jacob said to her, I am more cunning and wiser than he, nor can he do me evil, because the word of Yahweh is my helper. All right, this is something we'd never ever heard about. And do you believe this? Do you believe that the daughter is going to tell her new boyfriend or that possibly the new husband to be that don't dwell here? He's a man of cunning. She was trying to protect him.
I can see that.
I can see this dude being like, he's like a terrible like person overall, and like knowing who he is. I mean, I'm pretty sure you would like tell someone of your own family that this dude's not a good
Yeah, I think the girl would tell the boyfriend or husband to be for sure. And yeah, Laban was a bad dude. This dude was not a good dude at all. Like this guy was very, very, very super wicked. And so his daughters were looking out for her new man, at the expense of her father. Okay, here we go. But it's also interesting that Jacob thought, I can do this. I'm more cunning and wiser than he.
And we will see.
Yeah, we will see. Okay, and when she knew that he was the son of Rivkah, she ran and made it known to her father. And it was when Laban heard the account of the strength and piety of Jacob, the son of his sister, how he had taken the birthright and the order of blessing from the hand of his brother, and how Yahuwah had revealed himself to him at Bethel, how the stone had been removed, and how the well had upflowed and risen to the brink. He ran to meet him and embrace him and kiss him and led him into his house, and he related to Laban all these things. So all of a sudden, Laban's like, "Wow, score!
This
This
guy's
guy's
a better
rich.
scammer than me.
This guy's. Look at this. The well started coming up. The water coming over the top of it. And for those who, most people understand what a well is. I have yet to ever see a well overflow. I'm sure it does, especially probably when there's a ton of water. But for the most part, you're lowering a bucket or something 30, 40, 50 feet down. It could be even farther than that to get water. So, him pulling it, assuming this happened. And him hulking this rock off there with one arm, and then the water start coming out. All of a sudden, Laban's like, "Wow, this dude is blessed. We should probably hang out with this guy. Sounds like good guy to hang out with." Okay. And Laban said to him, "Truly thou art my near one and my blood." And he dwelt with him a month of days.
Even if he wasn't, he would still say that. Like, oh, truly, your family. Stay
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Oh, wow. Welcome home, son. Okay. And Laban said to Jacob,
you're down to
I'm down to 15. All right, so we're going to the XHS. Then Laban said to Jacob, because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for naught? Let me know what your wages should be. This is interesting, right? This is later on. I don't want to do a spoiler alert or too much of a spoiler alert, but this is an object of one of the girls' talks to Jacob later on. Is that my dad sold us, and this basically he's selling us right here. And so 16 says, and Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was lovely of form and appearance. All right, so that's kind of mean, I would say. I mean, because they're twins, right? So we have twins. We know Leah is the older. Rachel is the, Rachel is the younger, and obviously she is, I guess, more attractive or something. But I guess that's one interesting way to say somebody doesn't look good is their eyes were weak.
Well, we know a little bit later in the Targum why her eyes were weak.
Why?
You want me to spoil it?
Yeah, what's the spoiler?
Because she was always crying that she hoped that she'd become the wife of Esau.
Oh, she thought she was going to become the wife of Esau?
And she was always crying, so her eyes were like that.
It also says her eyes were weak, but Rachel was lovely of form and appearance. So I mean that's saying that somebody isn't good looking and somebody is. And again, I'd like to remind everybody that beauty is skin deep, and that you can take the most gorgeous of any being ever, and their hearts are dark and evil, and they will become the most ugly thing you've ever seen in your life because they're evil.
But isn't it also the eye of the beholder?
It's the eye. It absolutely is the eye of the beholder. Absolutely is the eye of the beholder, and for sure. Let's continue on. 18. And Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "Let me serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter." Okay, so essentially he sold his daughter. I mean, that's essentially what he did. He got free labor for 7 years for one of his daughters. Well, that's an interesting deal, right? Okay, and Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her. You think he really? It only seemed like it's a few days, and it was
like 7 years is just a really long.
7 years is a really long time. Like it's a lifetime to in some places. I mean, a lot of things happen in 7 years. Okay, now we're heading back up to the top, and Laban said to Jacob, "Though thou art reputed, my brother, shouldest thou serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall be thy wages?" And Laban had 2 daughters, the name of the elder Leah, and the name of the younger Rachel. And the eyes of Leah were moist, or dropping, running, from weeping and praying before Yahuwah that he would not destine her for Esau the wicked. And Rachel was beautiful in appearance and of fair countenance. Okay, is this it? I mean, is she crying all the time so she's not beautiful? I mean, is this what this is saying?
I don't know.
Is she upset? I mean, how can that be? I mean, is that her whole life? She thought she was going to get stuck with Esau?
I mean, they're twins. How different can they be, honestly?
Well, I mean,
They could be way different.
well, absolutely, yeah, way different. I mean, you're Mr. Square and your brother's Mr. Round.
We do look similar, though.
You do look very similar at
Like
certain
someone
times.
that's never like seen us, we
Absolutely.
look similar. Like
Absolutely.
you guys obviously were different.
Yes. That is true. All right, let's continue on. Where are we at, Eli?
I think you're at the Jerusalem.
Am I at the Jerusalem right here?
Yeah.
Okay. And the eyes of Leah were tender, for she had wept and prayed that she might not be brought up in the. And Rachel was beautiful in appearance and of fair countenance. Jacob loved Rachel, and he said, "I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter." And Laban said with deceit, "It is better that I give her to thee than to another man abide with me." So this dude was already scamming this 7 years prior to this.
Dude, Jay got him for like 2 years, 1 year, dude.
Well,
he chose his wages.
Hey, I would work 7 years for your mother. I would definitely do it. I would work for free for 7 years to be with your mother. Okay, so here we go. Where are we?
Like Zacharias, he says, "My wife has a beautiful face and heart.
Yes.
Married her for her heart, but her face was just a bonus."
Absolutely, and I don't see any ugly in anybody. I see, unless of course you're evil, and then you're Torah-less. Then there's ugly there. But if you're with Yah, then it's all beauty. Okay.
Uh-oh. Tess says it's choppy.
It's choppy. All right, so maybe we'll hang it here for a second. Let's see if it clears up a little bit, guys. Maybe it'll clear up. Let us know in this. Anyone else have anything on this particular part before we go on?
No, not really.
We were just while you were out with the dogs, we were talking about.
Laban's just a mad scammer. He just always got some evil.
He's a long-term scammer, right?
Yeah, dude. If the Targums are true, then he killed his dad trying to kill Eliezer.
Yeah, and so if the Targums is true, he already killed his pops on this whole thing. All right, let's continue on, guys. Let us know if it clears up or if it's unhearable. Then we'll probably have to wait on this. Okay.
And Jacob.
And Jacob said to Laban.
No.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. And Jacob served for Rachel 7 years, and they seemed in his eyes as a few days because he loved her.
Okay, and 21.
All right, 21. Now we're back to the bottom. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my days are completed, and let me go into her." And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to be in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Jacob, and he went into her. And Laban gave his female servant Zilpah to his daughter Leah as a female servant. All right, let's talk about this. Are we back to the Targums? Let's talk about this, and then we'll discuss this whole scam thing that's going on. Okay, and Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for the days of my service are completed, and I will go in with her." And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made them a feast. Answering, he said to them, "Behold, 7 years since Jacob came to us, the whales have not failed, and the watered places are multiplied, and now come. Let us counsel against him cunning counsel, that he may remain with us. And they gave him cunning counsel that he should take Leah to him instead of Rachel. And then the Jerusalem Post says this, or Jerusalem side. And Laban gathered all the people of the place and made a feast. And Laban answered and said to them, Behold, 7 years are from the coming of this just man to us. Our waterings have not failed, and our springs are many, and now come. Give me counsel how we may settle or subject him among us yet 7 years. And they gave him cunning counsel to take Leah to him instead of Rachel. Okay, and okay, still at the Targums at the top. And it was in the evening that he brought Leah his daughter and introduced her to him, and he went in with her. And Laban gave to him Zilpah his daughter, whom his concubine had borne to him, and he delivered her to Leah his daughter to be her handmaid. Okay, this is some sort of beyond a normal scam. This is like a family scam. Like, it talks about how, he spent 7 years and it seemed like a few days. You don't spend 7 years with somebody and love them that much, and your guys' voices, there's absolutely zero way that this could have gone down without Rachel and Leah being in on this, as well as everyone else.
Maybe the ceremonies they had, they don't speak or something, or something.
Or maybe they had him so liquored up that he had no idea what was going on. Even then, even being liquored up, you're not going to be able to pass this off. It's not going to work out like this. So either it was a complete silent event, or Leah was in on this, which she probably was.
Yeah, she was definitely on it.
And probably Rachel as well.
Maybe she did the feast was all good, and then when he took her home, they swapped around and they would take her home.
But here's the thing. You're not going to walk out of the place and not talk to your bride. You're not going to spend the entire night in silence, right? That doesn't happen. It just, the first time that she says something, and it's not the voice of the woman he thought to marry, even in darkness.
Maybe because their sisters super similar.
I don't think so. Your guys' voice seem nothing alike. I don't buy this. And you can't, if somebody else other than your mom who had your mother's voice started talking to me and it did not sound like things like we had talked about, I would know inside of a couple minutes there's something totally weird here. Like something has gone bizarre.
The Targums tells you that Rachel gave stuff to Leah that he gave to her.
Yeah,
that
so
Jacob gave to Rachel.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a huge scam event. But I'm just curious, at which point did Jacob figure this out? Because it seems like he would have figured this out inside of about 5 minutes, and then he would have woken the next day. Instead, I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to go crazy that night and go, "Hey, what is going on here?" Maybe he didn't want to mess with Leah or something, or like break her heart. I mean, this was a horrible situation. Absolutely horrible.
It's always Laban.
And it's Laban. And, we're dealing with love, and we're dealing with hearts, we're dealing with affection, we're dealing with, these people fell in love, and then their dreams, in a certain sense, got completely destroyed. And even though he still married both of them, I don't see that as that kind of marriage that is a wonderful one, right? Because, Leah, you can see from all the stories, they all had issues. Everybody had issues. Leah didn't feel like she was loved. It brought huge division to the families. It just brought problems.
I feel like that's kind of why there's that command, don't marry your wife's sister.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, don't marry your wife's sister. And, that's why I think multiple marriages is for a thing back in the days. It's not something for today's stuff. We're not at the risk of the marauders coming and destroying our entire family and wiping out all civilization, all of this, right? It's a different times, and it was meant for a different time. But let's continue on. All right, where are we at?
You're down here, 25.
All right, 25 in the old Holy Scriptures. And in the morning, it came to be that, see, it was Leah. So she said to Laban. So he said to Laban, what is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me? So my guess is 5 minutes after the lights went out, or 5 minutes after they were in their little role, she went and started talking to him, and this is how it's going to be, and he hadn't figured this all out. So he gets up in the morning and deals with his business.
I would have turned around and gone on my back.
It would have been very weird, right? You just had this huge marriage ceremony of all these people, and then all of a sudden you raise the roof. This would have just been a terrible situation. Okay, 26. And Laban said, it is not done this way in our place, to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the week of this one, then we shall give you this one too, for the service which you shall serve with me still another 7 years. And hearts are broken, lives are broken, things have been changed, and
We have,
Hey, I
issues,
know.
we have issues for the rest of the tribes of Israel's continuation because of this.
absolutely, yep. And there's always contentment with the sisters. Okay, and Jacob did so and completed her week. Then he gave him his daughter Rachel too as wife. Okay,
Wonderful.
and Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as a female servant. Now back to the Targums again. This is like an uncomfortable story for sure.
Yeah.
And it was the time of the morning, and he saw her. So it says in the morning he saw her, right?
And
And
then
behold,
he-
she was Leah, with whom all the night he had thought to be Rachel, because Rachel had delivered to her all the things with which Jacob had presented her. I don't buy this. Are you trying to tell me you guys didn't speak at all? That you never said a word? Hey, baby, how are you? Hey, how was that marriage ceremony? What did you think of crazy Uncle Bill or something? You know, something out there. Did nothing of that entire night's events warrant any sort of discussion at night? Maybe I don't understand the ceremony. Maybe. So let's continue on. Eli, where are we at?
You are presented to her.
Presented to her. Right. But when he saw this, he said to Laban, "What is this that thou hast done to me? Was it not for Rachel that I served with thee? Why hast thou deceived me?" And Laban said, "It is not done. It is not so done in our place to give the younger before the elder. Fulfill now the 7 days of the feast of this, and I will give thee also that for the service which thou shalt serve with me 7 other years." Now, can you imagine how uncomfortable this would have been in this entire house? All of a sudden, the girl you thought was going to get married, it's a sister, and then all of a sudden you're with her for 7 days, and then you're going to marry again, or basically, essentially right there.
It's just disappointment all around, right? Because Jacob's not marrying who he wanted to. Leah probably feels unloved at this
Well,
point.
absolutely, she feels unloved, right? She was not the choice, and she was bamboozled. Laban bamboozled her to get labor out of.
I don't know what happened to Rachel. She's probably just really mad about the whole thing. I don't know.
Well, if she had to be in on this, I mean, they had to sit her down, and she had to come to grips with this before this ever went down. She had to be part of the bamboozling of Jacob. It just has to be that way. Okay, where are we at, Eli?
Jerusalem.
All right, the Jerusalem says this: "Fulfill the 7 days of this feast, and Leah and I will give." And Jacob did so, and fulfilled the 7 days of the feast of Leah, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, whom his concubine bare him, and he delivered her unto be her handmaid. Okay, so that's the first time that we ever heard.
Second, because we heard up with the other one as well.
One more time.
The second time, because we also heard on
Did we
the,
hear it?
yeah.
Oh, we didn't discuss it then. So we did discuss this earlier, or like last week. We were talking about it. But Bilhah and what was the other? Zilpah were concubines' daughters of Laban. And
So they're all technically sisters.
yeah, they're all 4 of them. They're all 4. So that is makes
They all have the
this
same dad.
It makes
this makes this completely whacked.
Laban's weird, man.
Yeah, Laban has really messed this entire thing up. And
Still on him.
well, yeah, and I mean that's very interesting that it's all one big family technically. Okay.
The Grand says this is why Jacob told Pharaoh his life was short and not good.
Yeah.
30.
Okay. 30 at the bottom here. And he also went into Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served with Laban still another 7 years. And Yahuwah saw that Leah was unloved, and he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, "For Yahuwah has looked on my affliction, because now my husband is going to love me." These are a part of this horrible events and a horrible life. I wouldn't even know what it would be like to be unloved in a marriage, or to not be wanted, but just to be there. And this is what this woman had to deal with. And this is, it's just jacked up. Okay, 32. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, "For Yahuwah has looked on my affliction, because now my husband is going to love me." Okay, did we just do that one twice? Eli, you're not paying
Yep.
attention? I think we did that twice.
33 now.
Eli gets a smack on the arm because he is looking over at the chat room instead of actually looking where he should. Okay, let's continue on here. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Because Yahuwah has heard that I am unloved, he gave me this son too." And she called his name Shimon. Okay, there's a second unloved child. Okay, and so these kids are, can you imagine the kids coming up in this
They're not
kind
going
of
to be as loved either.
Right, you don't have a dad who is a permanent dad in that same house that never leaves that house. Your dad goes to other houses with his other kids. It's odd.
And it kind of ends up why Joseph ends up down the well.
Well, that's why Reuben ended up defiling his dad's bed because he was jealous of the entire thing, right? He was jealous of his mother not having. Basically, his dad went into a concubine. You with me? You looking confused?
Yeah, no,
you guys
I'm
with it? Okay. 34. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now this time my husband is joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons." So his name was called Levites. Okay. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, "Now I praise Yahuwah." So she called his name Yahudah, and she ceased bearing. All right, where are we at, Navigator?
Up top.
Great, thank you.
Gran says hi, Eli.
Hi, Gran.
That's right.
Joanna, too.
Hi,
Okay, where are we at?
you are in.
And, okay. See, the problem is, folks, my little navigator, I only got one of them. He's sitting right next to me, and so he starts looking over at Mom's chat room with all of you guys in there. He wants to see what you guys are saying.
You were the one that didn't scroll after you on the
Oh,
bottom.
this is Dad's fault?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right, here we go. "And he went in unto Rachel, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served with him for her yet 7 other years. And it was revealed before Yahuwah that Leah was not loved in the sight of Jacob. And he said in his word that sons should be given her, and that Rachel should be barren." Okay, do you think Jacob loved her?
Leah? I'm sure a little bit, but probably not as much.
I would say no. I would
No,
say
I
no,
don't.
right now, especially not maybe later, but right out of the gate, if you are going, I mean, if you have the love of your life set on one woman and you just labored 7 years doing whatever it
I would
was,
say he would have to grow on her, right?
It will-
have to-
it will.
have to, like, be a time thing, right? Immediately, he's not gonna love her. Like the first few years, he's not gonna love her. It's gonna take a long time for them
Yep.
to even bring me in and be like, all right, yeah, I guess I love her too.
But at the end,
well, yeah, spoiler alert, when everybody else dies off and there's nobody left, then Jacob loves her more than anyone else. So she gets some love at the end, but she had a sad life. Okay, we're 34.
No, you already read down.
Oh.
You're up here.
Okay, so here we are. "And Leah conceived and bare a son, and called his name Reuben, for she said, My affliction was manifest before Yahuwah. Therefore now will my husband love me. For my affliction hath been manifested before Yahuwah, as will be the affliction of my children before Yahuwah, when they shall be enslaved in the land of Mitzrayim." Okay, we've never heard of that before. We were discussing this because we didn't know if she was a prophetess or if this was like thrown in there later, or that she would know anything of this sort, but it was new to us that she would know something of this sort. Okay, "And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, Because it was heard before Yahuwah that I was hated, and he gave me this also, and so will be heard before him the voice of my children when they shall be enslaved in Mitzrayim."
Okay, so I remember when Yahuwah was talking to Abraham, he's like, your generations will be enslaved 400 years.
Yep.
Maybe Abraham told Isaac that, and Isaac told him that, and then maybe Jacob told
Maybe.
them that. And like my generation, because we're Abraham's generation, so now they'll be enslaved.
That could be. That's interesting. All right. Where are we at, Eli? And she, did we do Shimon yet?
Yeah.
And she called his name Shimon, and she conceived again and bare a son, and said, "This time will my husband be united to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. And thus it will be that my children will be united to serve before Yahuwah." Therefore she called his name Levi. "And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, This time will I give praise before Yahuwah, for from this my son kings shall come forth, and from him shall spring David's the king." It says David's the king. I don't know what that means. "Who shall offer praise before Yahuwah.
That one I don't know about.
Therefore she called his name Jehudah, and she ceased to bear." All right. I think that is it.
Yeah, we got Aaron Breslin.
What's that? Yeah, so let's talk about this. Do we have anything else? Do we have
the
any?
Gran just says Leah got props at the end because she gets buried with the patriarchs.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's the only one.
Yeah, that is true. All right. Well, I guess that is it for everyone out there in the chat room. I hope you guys are well, and I hope you guys this did something for somebody. And Eli, what are we gonna do for the exit song, by the way?
That's a good question.
Do we have something? We're in the heavens again.
You can, or you can just choose some randomly.
Some random one. All right, everybody. Well, I guess that's it. If you guys don't have anything out there, we're going to read the Aaronic blessing. And let's go ahead and read the Aaronic blessing. Then we will close. And we just know that we love you guys very, very much. And we hope you guys have a wonderful day. We hope you guys are keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. There's no better way forward. There is no better life than that. And for everybody who's listening to this and listens to this in the future, this is our message, is that we hope that you guys will seek our Creator where He is able to be found. He's not able to be found in these 501c3 churches. He's not able to be found anywhere. Our Creator lives, and He will live with you, and He will abide with us, and He will send His Son to reign. We will have a chance in a kingdom to come. We will have another place. The life that we're living right here is all temporary. Everything we're doing is all temporary. This is a resume right now for the kingdom to come. If what we are doing right now is pleasing to our Creator, then we have hope. But if what we are doing right now is we're just waiting to get to the end and we're going to change our ways right before we die, then that's a life of no hope. And so a life of hope is walking with our Creator. All right, Jade, let's go ahead and shut this down.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, speaking to Aaron and unto his sons, saying, on this wise you shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you, and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Beautiful. Okay, all right, everyone. We love you guys. Let's rend the heavens. All right, much love, everybody. We love you guys dearly. Hope you have a good day. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine upon you. May you forever find your way, his ways in the Torah. Much love to you guys. We're out.
All right,
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom.